more people. Thank you. And if you all want to show your face, you're welcome to. At the end, if we have time, we may have some questions. So feel free to show your smiling face or not. It's all up to how you feel. You're welcome to. You're welcome to ask questions in the chat if you have any. And once again, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Resilient Journeys. And this is our monthly series that we do. This month, we are talking about, of course, always charting the life course. And we're doing a roadmap for our moms navigating school success. So today I have three amazing panelists. And they're all moms, right? Everybody's a mom, different ages. We have Hadia, she's a mom. Her son is going into 12th grade. Then we also have Itara, her son is 5 years old, and he's having a little challenge right now, a little meltdown situation. But as moms, we get it. So we're going to have, conversations around the tool that we're sharing today, which is the one pager. And last but not least, we have Lady Extreme Nicole. She'll be jumping on very soon as well. And she has several children also. Her youngest, excuse me, not her youngest, her son, who she'll be speaking about today, Stephen. He is 20 years old, just graduating from high school. But each of our panelists will tell more about themselves, their story, and the tool that they're using this evening. So if you haven't already, get yourself some water or whatever you want to drink. Sit back, take a relaxing moment. Let's all take a quick deep breath, and let's get ready to learn about charting the life course through Resilient Journeys. Once again, thank you all for being here. If you don't know, I'm Brandy Muhammad, and there's my email address. I am a contracted worker with the Family Resource Network of Ohio. And so what that means is I get to do what I do. I get to talk to amazing moms, amazing people, individuals, and share about charting the life course and things that have helped me, things I've learned through the framework, and how others can use the framework as well in the tools. I'm also an Ohio ambassador for charting the life course. And last but not least, in addition to that, I'm also an information specialist and trainer with the Ohio Coalition for the Education of Children with Disabilities. My area is Northwest Ohio, in which I work. Even though I live in Columbus, my families that I help and service, they are in the northwestern part of Ohio. Big thanks to the Family Resource Network of Ohio team. We have a small team, but it's mighty. Listen, we got Erica on the line. She's always our techie lady. She always is making sure that we got all our ducks in a row. Then we also have Tracy Mans. She is the project manager. She makes sure everybody's doing everything they need to do. Like we're on time. We're making sure that we're saying the words properly with, integrity. And we're not, just making up our own thing. She always likes to help us with that. But thank you. Last but not least, we have Celia. I think she's on as well. Just a big shout out to her. Back in December, just to give you guys a quick story. Back in December, we had talked about the diversity group. Talked about trying to get more Black and Brown moms and family members more involved in learning about charting and life course. And so was able to create this right here at the Resilient Journeys. And so big thanks to the team. If you don't know, the Family Resource Network of Ohio has a Facebook page. I said it, yeah, a Facebook page. Feel free to go on there. You'll see plenty of stories, plenty of impact that families and people and individuals and also professionals have made while using the tools, charting the life course, so you have an opportunity to see it there. So tonight we have two different tools that we'll be sharing. This tool that you see here is the one-page person-centered description. And as you can see, it has, some different points. And at the first one is what people like and admire. Now, let me just give you this quick disclaimer, right? When we're using the tools, we're talking about this one right now, the one-page person-centered description. It's not just another piece of paper like, oh, okay, here, fill this out, just because I want you to, right? This tool is an introduction. The introduction can be for, once again, families, for the person that you're supporting, the children, or it can be for yourself. It can be for a parent. It can be for anybody, any age. And this tool is really important for initial or first time meetings. You're going to the doctor, the dentist. You want, if you're supporting a child, you want that dentist to know about, hey, what do people like and admire about Stephen? That's Lady Extreme's son, right? So she tells all that. And when she talks about what she likes and admire about him, she'll put it in maybe I am statements. So Stephen, so she may say, I am amazing. I am outgoing, right? I think I'm talking about myself. Okay, let me continue. That's where you put in what you like and admire about the person. And then you say, what's important to me? And as you can read, there's some information there. But for me, it really hones in on when we look at the different care categories down here. People, who's important to you? When I filled mine out, I put down people who were important to me. My young adults, my adult children, and their persons. My friends are very important to me. It's not just like likes and preferences. It's really what's important. Relationships are important. Status and control. Things to do. I love to go out in nature. I love to talk to people. I love hearing people's story and how I can help them and shape, their journey in life if possible. Places to go. I don't know if you know, I love eating, right? I love being a foodie. I love going to different places and finding different foods to eat. I also love to bake. And so that's the things I would put in there for what's important to me. Also, let's look down a little bit further. Purpose and meaning. As I said, I'm an information specialist and trainer. What's important to me is being able to share with families how what they can do and tools they can use in order to be successful when they have exceptional students. Me and my late husband went through the journey of not having charting in life course 20 years ago, right? And so we had the opportunity, I'll say that in the nicest way, opportunity to sit down with others, during the IEP meeting. And they're telling us stuff and we're trying to understand the information, but now I have these tools. What really means, what's meaningful and purposeful for me is to be able to share these tools with others. So when you're going to those IEP meetings, ISP meetings, going to the doctor, going to the dentist, your students going to high school or college or going to a IEP meeting, you'll be able to share, hey, this tool right here, you can talk. You don't even have to share the information's right here. Let's look down at the bottom. What's important? Excuse me, how best to support me, how best to support the individual that you're working with. As you can see, you have some examples down here. For me, we just jump back. For me, how to best support me is when I'm asking questions, give me a moment to answer the question before I jump in, before you jump in and start answering it for me. Give me a minute to process, right? As you can see, other things down here, they also say, show me how to do new things. I know, for example, Tracy, her son says, instead of giving him hypotheticals or saying it's raining cats and dogs outside, just tell him, wait, like A, B. Don't tell him it's raining cats and dogs because he's going to be looking up in the sky like, where's the cats and where's the dogs, right? You could also use the one pager. If you're going to the hospital, you have to be in the hospital for a period of time, you could throw it right above your wall. People can see it, the professionals can see it and know all about you. You don't have to answer too many questions because the information is right there. That's the reason why we use the one page person centered description. Hadia will be sharing not her one pager, but she'll be sharing her trajectory. And so you may say, why do we use a trajectory? And that tool is helpful and it's empowering to people. It gives you a point of where you're starting and helping you to look forward, maybe for a week, maybe for a month, maybe for a year. As I said, Hadia is going to jump in and she's our first panelist. Once again, Hadia, please share your name, your son's age, any information you want to share with us, of course, in addition to the trajectory and life planning.
Hi everyone, my name is Hadia Khan, aka Mother of Khalid. My son is 18, and I'm a professional as well. I work with Celia in Ohio Family to Family. And Celia actually was the one who showed me what charting the life course was during pandemic. And it started a good conversation about what he wanted in life. And I think I've shared with Celia a zillion times, that was the first aha moment for me to realize that the journey my son has is not about me. It should be about him, what he wants, how he wants things, and how we can make sure that his voices are heard. So ever since that, we made sure that his voices are heard. We asked him questions like when pandemic was happening, I asked him what is one thing that is most important to him. And he said independence. And I thought he's just faking it. He doesn't even know the meaning of independence. So I asked him, what does independence means to you? And he said, I'm able to do whatever. And it just shook me so hard that he knows what he's talking about. I'm the one who's not realizing how much he has inside him. So then we started coming up with, all right, if you want your independence, what that independence is going to look like for him. His idea of independence and my idea of independence were very different. His idea of independence was he needs to do everything, and nobody should stop him. He can buy anything and nobody should stop him. So then we came up with common grounds. If you do the chores, and my idea of independence is you do your own laundry, you help me load or unload the dishwasher, do stuff around the house. We started doing that. And then the money he earned with that, I'm not going to be answer, I'm not going to question anything. So that's how our journey of compromise started, with making sure that his voices are heard and my voices are heard, and then we try to find common ground. And it has evolved over the year. But since he's senior this year, we worked a lot about our last year IEP goal was making sure that he does self advocacy, and it just rang the bell for him. He actually ran into our special ed director last April, and he actually talked with her and told her that he's worried that next school year his teacher is not going to be his DOR, teacher of record. And he said that this teacher and my aide believe in me. They've helped me to be my voice, and I am worried about that. Nobody will be able to understand the way they understand. So they actually sent me an email that I was so appalled and I was so impressed by your son, that how he was able to communicate for himself, and we will try our level best to see if we can offer the same teacher next school year. Coming forward, in early August, we came to know his DOR is not going to be his favorite teacher. So that started our conversation with, all right, how that's going to look like for him. If you want to reach out to the school, what is one thing that you want to share with them? So, what was your past experiences? What were the things that really worked for you? And his basic thing was respect. My teacher and my aide respected me. And then, like, all right, if this teacher is not your teacher, what do you want other people to know about you moving forward? Um, he shared that he wanted to be successful. He wanted to be able to use himself to his best potential. And we wrote a letter to the school. We had an IEP meeting literally last Monday. And I was just proud of the way he advocated himself. We talked about it in the directory. And he shared that he wanted his teacher to allow him to express himself and his concern. And then he wants them to know that his ultimate dream is to earn money. So he wanted to make sure that if he's going to do any kind of internship, that should be in a bank. He doesn't want to go anyplace else. And then he made sure it was US Bank. So we because my husband works for US Bank. So we made a good compromise about bank is enough. Specifying bank, I don't think so. It's a good idea. But just having those conversations, and his teacher asked what is his goal for this school year, and we were thinking that he's going to say something about how important education to his is, and he just said his goal is to have a girlfriend this year. So we were just like, okay, we never saw that coming. And then he went on explaining it. She has to be redhead and naturally redhead. So when he started the school, the first question I asked him, did you find any red girl? He goes, no, I'm so disappointed. But it's just the more we talk about this trajectory with him, the more I get to know. And though as mothers, we think we know our kids, but I think charting that life course has helped us to push ourselves beyond and just enjoy our kids and realize what they want. And I have shared with zillion parents, it's not about us, it's about them. Respecting their voices, understanding where they're coming from. We had a meeting this Monday. We asked him question, how did you feel about this meeting? The first thing he did to school was he went to school and told everybody, I am scared and I'm worried. So they started the meeting with Khalid came in the school and said he's worried. Can you please help us understand how we can support you, Khalid? And he said, I want my favorite teacher. So then we discussed the whole plan with him and we compromised on his favorite teacher is going to be with him at least in one class for 45 minutes. And he was happy with that. And in the end, then we asked him, how did you feel about all of this? And he said that this makes me very happy. So it's just small things that life is not perfect, but understanding what their needs are, make them part of the team, and help them grow with you. And I think that's the beauty. And that has decreased my son's meltdown. That has decreased so many issues that all of us are on the same page. Yeah. And according to him, I'm the world's most annoying mom. And I love that title. And I told him that any mom who's not annoying, I think is not doing a good job. So all the moms should be annoying to every kid. So that's my story.
Uh, Thank you, Hadia, so much. I did have a couple quick questions for you in
Yes.
reference to your son. Is he verbal or nonverbal, or how does he communicate?
He is non-speaking.
Yeah.
He uses iPad as a speaking device,
Mhm.
and that's how I like to share my story because 90% of the people would never know that my son is speaking or non-speaking with the way I talk about him. And that's how I want people to understand. Just because he uses different mode of communication does not mean that his voices are not heard, because if you tell people that he's non-speaking, they'll have their own judgment. So that's why I don't tell unless I'm asked to.
Okay, awesome. And then you also had stated, because we just have a couple minutes for your
Yes,
part, just really quick. You also stated when you did the trajectory, you really gave him a chance and to use his voice. And so I
yes,
see over here that he wants to fly, right? And he
yes,
wants to take infinity amount of
yes,
vacations. Does he
yes.
share like where he wants to go? And was it easier for him to share what he wanted versus what he didn't want, or which way, vice versa?
If it was up to him, he'll go to Disney every year. He loves Magic Kingdom. Mickey Mouse is his favorite since the day he was 3. And to this day, we planned 3 trips for Disney, and it's expensive. So
Mhm.
then, but he loves flying. He loves meeting other people. He loves to try other. He's a foodie too, so
Mhm.
he loves to try different foods. So then we tell him. Um, and he loves new places, so he's all about using Google a lot. So if we tell him that, say we are going to Austin, so he went to Austin this summer for the first time. He Googled Austin. He knew everything about Austin. So the second we went there, he was asking my sister, this is the places I want to go, this is the places I saw. So he educates himself of the places he's visiting, and then he loves watching people on highways. So there are some people who actually videos themselves while they're driving. So he knows all the highways. So then he asked my sister, which highway does she take to work? What are the highways of Austin? He Googled that and they discussed it together. So he just makes it work. Every time he's in a different city, he enjoys that. He enjoys how he can explore the city, what are the options, how's the food. So he does that all on his own and tells us that these are the places. Like we went to Chicago this summer too. And the first thing he was like, I love California pizza and I want to eat California pizza. So,
Mhm.
he makes sure that he let us know. And then our compromise is you told us and we're going to make sure that it happens. But when it happens, that's up to us. It might not be the first day, it might be the second or the third. That's where we compromise with him that you said, and we're going to respect that. But when that's going to happen, it's up to us.
Right. And then before we let you go, I also see over here what he doesn't want. And he says he doesn't want people to help him if he doesn't ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Did you
hates
already
when
know that? Or
people,
when you
yes.
start? Yeah, I
Yeah.
was just going to say, did you already know that? Or when you started to have that conversation with him, is that when he expressed what he
When
wanted?
puberty was hitting him closer to after he went to school after pandemic, that was a time when he would, even if me and my husband was trying to help him something, he would literally grab our hand and put it on the side that I don't need your help.
Okay.
So, and we love that he wants to feel it that way. And he wears cochlear implants. So if you take off the implants, he's not going to hear.
Yeah.
So anytime if somebody is saying something to him and he does not want to listen, he'll actually flip his implants and I'm not going to listen. So I think we initially did not realize that how he expressed his likes and dislikes, but in the past 2 years, the way we talked about his transition, and he has been more aggressive and more open about what he likes and what he doesn't. And we try to respect that. That's one thing. If he doesn't like something, we make sure that we don't touch that subject with him because we want to respect him because nobody would like to use things or do things when they don't appreciate that. But we did have communications with the school to let them know that the aide should not help him unless and until he asks for help. So we don't want people because, we all have, as special needs parents, we all have gone through those aids. And bless their heart, they're trying to help, but they
Yeah.
don't realize that sometimes helping is enabling them to. So helping them understand that we totally appreciate that, but by the end of the day, we want them to be independent. And I'm pretty sure that's how you want to see them succeed. So, and we help them only he asks for help. And he has a help button on his device and he knows. And if he's telling us to help him, like, I don't know, use your button, use your voice. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So we are good with redirecting him that use your voice. Otherwise, we won't understand because we as parent would understand. But I want him to realize that not everybody is going to understand his gestures. Everybody is not his parents. So
Yeah.
we always redirect him. Use your voice. We don't know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And then he goes on his device and let us know what he likes and what he doesn't. So, yeah.
Thank you, Hadia. We appreciate your time. Thanks for being
Thank you.
vulnerable and sharing about your
Of
son and
course.
the ins and outs, highs and lows, and how you're using Charting the Life course with him now. And of course, I feel like you'll probably be using it in the future forever for your family.
Absolutely. Yes.
So thank you. Stay on the line. We might have time
Absolutely.
for
Thank
some
you.
questions. All right. So up next, we have Itara. Itara is going to share. There we go. Her one page. And before Itara shares, I just wanted to let you guys know. So in the chat, I told you, Erica's amazing. She's our support person. In the chat, she has the one page person-centered description. And this Itara's looks different, right? So let me give you this quick disclaimer. With the one page person-centered description, you can make it your way. So you see how Itara has hers and she has LJ and she has pictures of them and she has her information. She has two different ones, and you'll see the second one in just a moment, and she'll explain why she has two different ones. But just recognizing that the one pager can be a Word document, it could be pictures, it could be whatever you choose it to be in order for you to communicate what you need to communicate to the individuals or groups or professionals, etc., that you want to talk to. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute. I'm going to let Itara jump in and share her story, how she's using the Charting the Life course and the one page person centered description for herself and LJ. Itara, are you there? Let's see.
Yes, I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, there we go.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
All right. So hello and good evening, everyone. So as mentioned, my name is Itara. Solo parent to Mr. LJ here. This is one of my favorite tools or forums um, to use is the one pager. And when I initially was introduced to this framework, it was in the context of an IEP. And my son was just starting preschool, his first year. And I remember coming into the training and feeling like this is something that I can do.
Yeah.
This was an excellent way for me to put all the information that I wanted his teacher to know about him. And I have a creative background, so this was exciting for me to do. But also, the design was very intentional. My son has a complex profile, and with me going in, I really wanted it to be an example. So I chose this Black background because at the time it was recommended by his intervention specialist and his vision medical team that like it'll be best for him to have his materials on a darker background so he could see. So this everything about this was literally like an example to his teacher to say from every way from the way that it's designed, this is how you can best support him. And I have two different versions, but I call this one that we see here on the screen his general all about me page. And this is the one that I give to teachers, I give to aides, I give to anyone at point that's working with us. This is the general one. And this is part of what I call the welcome packet. Welcome to our team. So whether you're with us for 5 minutes or for 5 years or longer, welcome to our team. And I usually encourage the person to read this before you ask me any questions, because a lot of the times the information that you're wanting to know, I have put it down here. And we also know being in this space, how many times we have to constantly repeat ourselves or say the same information over and over again. So this has been this is like an automatic. I keep this on me. I keep copies in the car. I keep copies in a binder. I keep them with me. I have a digital copy and it's a living document. So this also looks very different from the very first one that I had shared with his preschool teacher. And one of the things I want to highlight in this general all about me is it also became a way for me to highlight the things that I wanted to make sure he was not engaged in. So at the top under my favorite things in red it's a boundary. This is a value for our family. These are things that we do not participate in. Please do not engage him in these things. So if you're going to do stories or something on YouTube because he likes, or you're going to do a game, just make sure those materials are not introducing any topics that we don't involve in. And also, instead of, what the people like about me, here's some cool things to know about him. But I also took the time to just put in there that this is something important for you to know. I have a hyperlexic kiddo, which means that he is all about the letters and the numbers and the colors. So that could be a great motivator for him. And most importantly for me is his medical needs. And on this particular all about me, I put that down at the bottom. So it's like it's important for you to know, but usually in the school setting, it's that season, is what's gonna best help him, what's some cool things to know about him. Yeah. On this slide, this particular all about me, I call this his medical one. And right at the top is a medical summary. And this is this is another one I always have on me. My son with his complex needs and background, we are literally at an appointment multiple times a week with a different specialist doing updates. And so we all know about when you check in and they want to do a medication update and you're still doing this. I just hand him the one page and go, all the medication, all the dosage, all the needs, medical history is there in a summary, but also to say, this is what it looks like on him. In the general one, I go through what his needs are, but also to say, what does this look like on him? Because just because you've met one person with autism, you've only met one person with autism. So this is what it looks like on LJ, and this is how you can best support him. So in the middle on this one, what helps? This is how to care for him in a medical setting. I know my son has some medical trauma, and so I just took the opportunity to put in here, this is how to care for him. This is how he takes medication. This is where you need to be when you come in the room. And literally before they go take vitals, I usually tell the nurse, please give this to the doctor. Like, I need them to read this before they come in, because I'm usually having to co-regulate with him. And that frees me up some time to be able to be there for him and get us through the appointment. And that way they come in prepared. And so, the things that are important to him on this particular medical one, it's more condensed it is, when we check out, they want to know, oh, what kind of toys do they like, or what stickers do they like? Well, that information is at the bottom because that's usually the last thing. So everything about this is, it was with the flow, and the pictures just add a touch that this is not just another patient. This is just not another student number. This is a real person with a big personality, in addition to him having all these support needs. And that's really been my aha moment, is that I can take this and turn it into however I need to, in whatever setting I need to, and say, this is how you care for him in either setting. And I have to tell you, we did go meet his kindergarten teacher today,
Okay.
and he had testing, and she came out. She, do you have questions for me? I said, well, actually, I have something for you.
Yeah.
And I handed her I handed her both the general one and his triggers list. And I said, welcome to our team. This is your welcome packet. And she was like,
Okay.
oh my goodness, thank you. If all families could have something ready for me to learn about my students so much quicker. So that was just exciting. And it's a lot. So why not present in a way that's like palatable and very fitting for where he is? He's 5 years old. It's a playful time. It's colorful. So that was part of it too. But um, those are my all about. Those are his all about me's, and they really are language, written in a way where it's his voice. So even though I may be writing them, it really is. He loves letters and numbers. He loves this, and so I tried to do my best to honor that, even with him being 5 and being a newly elementary kiddo. So that's me, and that's my little guy, LJ.
LJ, thank you, Tara. I do have a couple of questions for you. But before I do that, I do want to apologize. My PowerPoint keeps flipping to the next screen. So you might not know that me, Brandy, I like to have transitions. Unfortunately, the timing of these transitions are a little bit quicker than they're supposed to be. So please know that it was not intentional that it keeps flipping back. I'm going to have it all perfected next month in September. All right. Got my disclaimer out. So, Tara, I wanted to ask you, I just wanted to go back to the first one. When you talk to the teachers, I know you've created yours very intentionally and put, different things on there. If you do it again, like when he goes to first grade or maybe when he goes to middle school, would you do more or less, or would you change the format of it? And the reason why I ask is because, when you do the one-page person-centered description, of course you can do it the way that you love, right? The way that you like, the way that you understand it. You'll see Lady Extremes next. You can do as much on the page as you want or as little, and it's all personalized for you. But I was just curious with LJ, how do you look for the future with doing the one pager, either the medical or the first one?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So one of the things that I do to help me with shaping this, either shortening or adjusting accordingly, is I do what's called exit interviews with, again, anyone that participates in his care, whether it's educational or medical. And there's 3 questions that I have them ask, which are very similar to what's on the All About Me. What
Yeah.
would his peers say about him or like about him? What are 1 or 2 strategies that you have found have worked, either individually or in a group session? And there's 1 other question that's not coming to mind yet, but nonetheless, or what do you think that's helped? Excuse me, that's the other one. And so, and I've done that since the first day he went to preschool. So I
Okay.
have 3 years of data
Yeah.
that I collect and kind of put it as a brag folder. And I take that, and if I find that there's a trend, or there's something new, I actually put that in. So that's how I tweak it. And so I'll do the same thing with the kindergarten teacher. And of course, as he gets older, I want to, and he will be invited, obviously, more into this conversation about this is what I thought at the time and what should be shared, but what do you want to be shared on here?
Yeah.
He has a complex background, and so there is a lot to know. And because of his complex background and profile, his medical informs the educational. His
Yeah.
educational can inform the medical. And so it's important for those that are in his circle of support to know, hey, these are the things that may be going on. And if you see some of these things happening, they may be impacting the education. And so vice versa.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate how you shared uh, the different points of where you started in pre-K to now him being in kindergarten and beyond. That's the beautiful thing I share all the time with the one-page person-centered description. You can do it at any time. It doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to be LJ's, medical summary forever this way because life changes. He changes and he grows it, things evolve within him. Same thing for us as moms. We can also do the one-page person-centered description. Last question. Have you been able to take it to like doctor's appointments, new places that he hasn't been before, or even maybe taking it when you go out to dinner or maybe around the holiday season with your family?
Hmm. Yep. So another great question. Especially so anytime we have to go to the doctor, specifically the ER, if it's going to be possibly a longer stay, this is part of my like pack and go bag. Like
Okay.
we got special food, the meds, we got the all about me, and I try to have a couple copies. I could tell you from previous visits, I have literally had it pasted outside his door.
Okay.
Like literally before you walk in, you are, if you did not read it before
Yeah.
you walked in, you have to. And
Uh-huh.
I have made it my business to hold his care team accountable. So when they ask me, did you look at his one page? Have you read
Right.
that? Or I'll
Right.
redirect. Oh, well, that information actually can be found on his one pager. I have literally had to stop.
Mhm.
Um, just briefly, we had to go in the ER. It was something fairly serious, and he was getting dysregulated, and they just went straight into care. And when the nurse left and the doctor came back in, I said, I want this to go well,
Yeah.
and we need to have pleasant experiences because
Mhm.
we are in here way too often.
Yeah.
And so I am asking you, I need you to read that before you come in here and do any kind of, care with him. So
Okay.
yes, in short, yeah, it's also a tool for me. I'm a
Mhm.
solo parent, and he has a big team, and I
Yeah.
am constantly communicating information. And so it's not only a tool for him, but it's a tool for me to be able to, bridge that gap and be that communication and that team lead and facilitator. So yes, anyone, like I said, whether you're with us for 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 years, 3 years, however long or short, this is part of your welcome packet. Welcome to the team, LJ.
Thank you, Itara. Thank you so much. Stay on. We might just have a couple questions from the audience. I don't think they're really shy. So if you have some questions, feel free to add it in the chat. We're going to go to our last panelist, last but not least, Lady Extreme Nicole, and she'll share more information about her one-page person-centered description for her son, who is Mr. Steven.
Well, good evening, everybody. Everyone that went before me, I feel like I need to, up my little Annie, if you will. My son is Steven. He is a 19-year-old special needs. His special needs is, I call him my genius with autism.
Mhm.
He is absolutely amazing, and we have had our own relationship for a long time. I've been in communication with him since he was about 3 years old. I used to do sign language with him when he wasn't very verbal. He is a parakeeter. And so he would watch videos, and I would have to pay attention to the videos that he watched because that was his way of communication. But early on, we did sign language when he wanted to eat and when he wanted to do more things. And so as we fast forward, he recently, as you see the picture, decided that he was going to graduate from high school. And I was excited about keeping him in high school for another 4 years. And he said, I'm a senior. I said, that's right. He says, time to graduate. I said, well, if you want to. And I had to ask him almost 7 times, are you really, really ready? And when I say 7 times, you guys, I don't mean 7 times the same question. I'm talking about doing 15 different directions, coming over the valley, through the woods, underneath the water. We did it all, aquatically. We did it all to make sure that you're absolutely sure you want to graduate, because one of the things that can happen when you have your kids in school is they're the safety net. The schools are the safety net for your person, just like the young lady before me, she talked about how she was able to have a team of people. She gave them the information that she needed to give them in order to get her child prepared and so that they can have a great school year. So when he decided that he wanted to come home, this is all new to me, it's all fresh, but I have been a champion for him making his own decisions. So even to the degree of what he wears, sometimes you want to wear this. Now I do give choice. You want to wear this, you want to wear this, and he has championed that. Well, I'm going to be honest on this call because this is about being honest. I'm nervous because I don't have that IEP team with me. I don't have people telling me what he's doing on a daily basis. I have to create his world, his kind of way. And one thing, like these panelists have said, when you're giving your child independence, you want to make sure that the world around him understands that. I have been one that he has a vibrant personality, but then he has some quirkiness too. And so I try to be transparent and real with people. If you run into him and all of a sudden he, in the middle of your conversation, he la off somewhere else, well, he's done with the conversation. Don't take it personal. It's all good. So one of the things that this particular journey, being a part of this group of people, it allows you to come face to face with not only your personal self, your family, but the person that you oversee, which is your children. And it also allows you to tell your other children, if you have more than one child, what the expectations are that the child wants, and also, that can help. And it also, the thing I love about you guys got to come every single month because there's new topics every single month. And I really appreciate how we could turn around and we can take these topics and you can put them on a page, you can put them in a folder. But when somebody wants to learn about what you believe, how you raised them, and things of that nature, it's just right on this page. So it really helped me more with, helping with decisions for his life. Like, for instance, he and I do YouTube, and we just looked at our building today, and he says, this is my room, and we're going to do YouTube here. Oh, okay. Well, this is the room we're going to choose, and because it happened to have a blue door, and so that's something that we're going to do. So one of the things as he got older, I would suggest to parents that have children that has disabilities, or even children that are normal. Let me say this, please, as you begin to take them throughout high school, allow them to begin to have work opportunities. With him, I got early on in creating work environments for my son when he was very, very young. So by the time he got to high school, when he wanted to do work or things of that nature, it really helped because he was already used to a work environment, already used to doing certain things, already understood those things, and it really helped him really excel when he was at school. This summer, he worked at Goodwill, and he had a couple of days where he didn't feel like going to work, and he kind of tried to figure out how to let me know. I said, well, we're going to go to work anyway. Go to work. So he was kind of not feeling that jumping up and going to work, but he got used to it, and he started enjoying it. Last year, he was in high school, and he went to Goodwill, and he got Employee of the Month. So you have those things, whereas you have to let your person know that they might have bad days. So don't expect a perfect child. Don't expect a perfect person, because we have bad days and we have good days. But one of the things I want to encourage the people in this call is that just keep going, keep plugging away, but also get a part of a group and a community like this, because they have tools, resources, and everything to help you along the way so that you don't feel like you're by yourself. When this particular program was created, I jumped on board because I thought that I was ready to go and I had everything lined up and down. Kindly found out real quick, baby, you ain't got it all together, and you need help, and you need resources, and you need advocacy, and you need people to come along this journey with you. So I just want to inspire and encourage you guys that sometimes when you think you got it all together, come a part of these kind of companies and organizations, so they let you know, hey, did you think about this? Did you look at this? Are you doing self-care, baby? Because sometimes you'll focus all on your family and completely forget about yourself. I see one of my dearest friends, Paul, on here, my other dear friend, Ngazi. I appreciate y'all, but it's really time to really inspire and encourage people, and don't be afraid to get a part of groups. Don't be afraid to be transparent. Don't be afraid to express, because everybody raises their children differently, but there might be a nugget that you could take away with somebody that'll turn around and be a blessing to you later on. So I just appreciate this group. I appreciate all that they brought to the table. I look so forward to being a part of everything that they do for the next 20 to 30 years. And you guys should be too. So that's my spiel. If you have any questions, I'm an open book and I'm transparent. I'm here for you.
Thank you so much, Lady Extreme. I did just have one quick question. So when you seen the original one-page person-centered description, I don't know if you can probably see it on here. When you seen it, and because the way your thought process, you like to write and then you put it in pictures, was it easier for you to do it? I guess I know you, so I shouldn't assume everybody
You
knows.
can ask me. Go ahead and ask me, because
Was it
other people don't know me, Brandy.
Right. Was it better for you to do it this way, like bloop, 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 or is it better for you to put the pictures in, put the words, and then kind of go from there?
I think with the thing is there's no judgment with this group. I was able to, when it came down to, one of the things I would say is, when it came down to reflection and thinking about, especially self-care, I had to sit back and think, like, whoa, like, me focus on me? Wait a minute, I don't focus on myself hardly at all. And because I'm used to taking care of my young people, but then also I found when I use pictures, it gave me accountability. So it was kind of like, this person is in your corner. This person operates this kind of way. This is the relationships that you have. This person has a mentorship program for your children and stuff like that. And so pictures were very, very easy. Plus, my brain is not a wordy brain. I'm one, like, a whole bunch of words start jumping together and I start getting confused. And I'm like, listen, can you just draw it for me or stick figure it for me? I mean, that's the kind of person I am. But the thing that I loved about what you guys are doing is there was no wrong way of doing it. And this is the one thing about it being personal, your one pager being personal, because you're not going to make a mistake at all, because it's personally towards you. And that's one of the things I absolutely loved about this resilient journey.
Awesome. Thank you. And then last question in regards to Stephen. So when we look at what's important to him, would you be able to tell us like one or two things that's important to him? And not just family, right? Because we know family is important, but who is family to him? Or maybe, the goodwill employees, maybe they're important to him. Who's really, in addition to you, of course, who else is important to him?
Well, one of the things that I say about my son is his level of innocence is almost scary to me, because he trusts anybody. So you could be a complete stranger, say, Stephen, come with, and walk right on off, and he going all up into the valley and through the woods. I'm the one that might come out with the guns blazing and being John Wick. So I have to be, I try to tiptoe when I'm with my trust, because as a parent, I'm a natural tiger and I'm a natural. So I ask him questions. I ask, those things, because he is so innocent. So with that, he doesn't understand deception. He doesn't understand manipulation. He doesn't have that capacity. So because of that, I always ask certain questions on, how was your day? And if he says, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to find out what's going on. Or he said, I was fine. It depends on his social cues that I have to get with him. And that's one of the things I could say that this time with everybody on this call has helped me with, because sometimes you get so private that you don't have the opportunity to express or the opportunity to communicate with others, who is like, baby, I dealt with that last week. What you talking about? I got your back. Well, this is how I dealt with it. Those are the things that having a community of people has helped. So Stephen knows two things. One of the things that's the biggest community for him is the All Disabilities Festival. He knows that he's going to see people who are like him, who are like-minded. They might have different abilities, but he says that's Stephen's event. Yeah. He'll say in the comedy show, he says that's Stephen's event, because since he was 5, I told him the comedy show happened because of you. And so those are the two things that I know. So it's little things that allows you to understand what they want. But then I say, strengthen the strengths and manage the weaknesses. If you focus on the weaknesses all the time, then what happens is you find yourself in a spiral. Whereas if you strengthen his strengths and manage the weaknesses, the strength will become stronger, because even if it's a little bit at a time, it's accomplishments. So so that's how he has been able to answer his own stuff, and I help him. I ask him little things all the time. What you want to eat? Those kind of things.
Thank you so much, Lady Extreme. And ladies and gents, I don't know if gentlemen are on the call too. Really want to give a big shout out to all of my panelists for today for being vulnerable, for sharing their story about their children. This time was all young men. Yeah, from 5 to maybe 18 to 20-year-olds. Okay, we'll see what next month holds. Big thank you to Meredith as well. She was in the chat, just chatting away, giving some extra nuggets. So we really appreciate that. Before we end this call, in addition to saying thank you to the panelists, once again, Lady Extreme, uh, excuse me, Itara and Hadia. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Family Resource Network of Ohio team, we thank you as well. Also, Autism and We. I don't know if you all know, as Lady Extreme just talked about, there's a variety of communities. Autism and We is another organization. And I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on your name. Hold on.
You need to draw a blank because this is about you right now. We'll get the information. You can send out information and resources, but people need to know about what you guys are doing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Okay.
Your big sister came out.
Well, listen, thank you, Autism and We, because they took off today in order to support ITAR and the Resilient Journeys series for today. So just once again, want to say big thank you to everybody. Thanks everybody for coming. If you came in at the last minute or you've been on the call since we began, we appreciate you. Let's finish off our call with a little bit more information. If you don't know, now you know. Resilient Journeys is about sisterhood, community, legacy, and of course, inclusive belonging. So we are going through January. We'll be talking about the next months after that, 2026 later, but look at the calendar, take a picture, take a snapshot, whatever you need to do, because September is coming. And as you can see, that topic is around sacred strength. And that's the vision tool for the wholeness around generations. And so we'll have additional panelists. Lady Extreme Nicole, she's always my featured panelist. And then we'll also have two to three other participants as well. This one, because it's around wholeness for the generations, we're really talking about mental health and what that looks like. So we'll have somebody from NAMI. We're also possibly not trying to put her out there yet, but possibly somebody who will be speaking about AAC devices and what that looks like and how she wants, or her daughter wants to see more Black and brown young people using the AAC devices. So Ms. Anika might be able to jump on the call as well as a panelist, just fingers and toes crossed in advance. Then we have October, Sacred Strength. We talk about, did I jump? Hold on. I did. Let me take a step back and breathe. September, Charting a Life Course, Culturally Rooted Resilience for Families. Once again, we're talking about NAMI and how they're going to be able to come and support and talk about the different tools that they'll be able to, that you can use around mental health. We'll also possibly, once again, have Unmuted Grace, and she'll be talking about the AAC devices, but it all will be the tools. The tools will still be used. And so this next month's tool will be the possibly the 3 buckets and how we feel in those 3 buckets and what that looks like. Then we'll jump to October, and that's the vision tool. I'm not going to tell you about all the tools right now because you might just get overwhelmed. So let's just take a moment. Let's look at September 18th to mark it on your calendar to see us from 7 to 8 p.m. because it's a monthly series. We're going to have a great time like we already have, and we'll continue to go and flow as much as we can. So before I let you guys go, it's a nonprofit, so we have to get evaluations done for all the 25 individuals.
Brandy, that's the wrong one. Shut that
That's the
one
wrong
down.
one? Can you
Yep,
fix it
wrong
for
one.
me?
I'm gonna put that one in the chat. Please
Okay.
take that one.
See, I
off.
told you.
Do not
Erica's
scan what she
amazing.
has on the slide, please.
Thank you. Don't
I
scan
put
that
one in
one.
the chat.
Okay. Erica's
go back.
updated. That's okay. Thank you.
Or go
Updated
forward.
the evaluation. Please fill the evaluation out. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like, what could be done differently, or that you just had a super dope, amazing time and learned something different and new from our amazing Resilient Journey panelists. Before we end this call, I just want to remind you that we're here every third Thursday, September and October, the third Thursday. We will be here. Then November, December, and January, we are going to be the second Thursday of the month. And that is because, of course, the holidays are coming. So we have November, Thanksgiving. I didn't know or Friendsgiving. I don't know if anybody really show up that third Thursday. December, Christmas, etc., all the other holidays. And then January, the 15th would have been my late mom's birthday. So I wasn't talking to y'all. As much as I love everybody on the call, I might not have been able to have this conversation. So that's why we are doing it the third Thursday. Up until November, December, and January, we're doing the second Thursday. Last but not least, before we finish, just letting you know, we created Resilient Journeys because we found a need, right? Black and brown moms, Black and brown dads, Black and brown individuals aren't necessarily always in those spaces where we're talking about charting a life course. And so I've been to many events and I don't see me. I might see a couple of us, just floating around, but these tools are for everybody. And so thanks to the leadership of Tracy, she was like, yes, create this group, bring Black and brown moms, dads, anybody together, aunties, sisters, cousins, and let's talk about charting a life course. Because culturally, we have different lingo in different ways, right? So if I put my finger up, I'm about to walk out, you know what that means. I ain't talking, I'm just stepping away, right? Just for a moment, and I'll be right back. When we're dealing with charting a life course, we have an opportunity to hear from different panelists, professionals, non-professionals, moms, most importantly, how they're using the tools for their success for themselves, also for those individuals that they are helping, and then also maybe even for their family members. So just remember, charting a life course, the framework is for anybody. You can have a disability, you don't have to have one. You can support somebody, you don't have to. It's all for you, but always know it's a reason why you're using each and every tool. Krishana, that's who. Autism and We. Thank you for putting say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, we have made it to our 8 o'clock hour of power. Thank you guys for coming. Please fill out the evaluation so we can get feedback. If there's anything that we can do differently, please let us know. We can't necessarily change the time, at least till we finish up with January. And then moving forward, we can maybe look at a different day and time. But don't quote me yet. Just kind of hold on. Just talk about what you like, what you didn't like, panelists, and etc. And if you might consider being a panelist, we have opportunities available for you as well. Each month we do a different tool. We have little prep meetings, pre-meetings before the actual meeting. So if you want to consider jumping on and learning more about charting your life course, do so. And don't forget to check out our website, frnohio.org. Thank you for your time. And guys, I can't wait to see you next month. Thanks everybody for coming. Have a great day. Thank you. Thanks, panelists. Thank you, Jamie. Thanks, Krishana. Thanks, Itara. Thanks, Hadia. Thanks, Lady Extreme. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Celia. Thanks, Erica. Okay, I'll stop. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jean. See you next month, hopefully. Awesome. Thank you, Meredith. Hey, Erica, are we still recording or are we off?